The greatest fraud in American history has been uncovered, which is the fact that there is such a thing as called man-made global warming. It turns out that there was a conspiracy that was being conducted and still is being conducted by criminals with doctoral degrees, gangsters in the academic fields who were making millions and millions of dollars on grants to continue pushing the global warming myth. This myth has been brutally exposed. Their emails have been found where they're talking about covering up the real data. Let me give you an example. Let's say you never went to college or you don't understand statistics. These fraud artists in the universities who've been pushing the man-made global warming lie are sending out graphs that are based somewhat on the so-called hockey stick picture. Now, what's a hockey stick graph? It shows a slight – look at the bottom of a hockey stick. Goes up at a slight angle on the bottom of the stick, right? And then suddenly there's a steep jump and rise up the handle of the stick. These gangsters in fake science, climate science, have been using the hockey stick picture to show a jump in man-made global warming, when in fact the actual rise in temperature over the last 100 years has been about 0.5 degrees centigrade, not 1.5 to 2 degrees centigrade. You say that's not a lot, and it's enormously different, number one. Now, the reason they're able to get away with the hockey stick graph is because all of their computer programs were rigged to produce hockey stick graphs. In other words, no matter what they were presenting, it would be presented in a form of a hockey stick picture. That would be like rigging a pinball machine, rigging a card game, rigging a racetrack game or a race at a racetrack. So these scientists should be not only laughed at, they should be fired and arrested, and their money should be taken back from them. You're not reading about this in the Washington Post or the New York Times, these old-line newspapers that are filled with nothing but the government media complex rubbish. You're not reading any of the stories that are really out there amongst the really thinking people. Final nail in coffin of man-made global warming is a big story.
From the information that we've got so far, some of these alleged emails may actually hold the key or actually the clues to prove that the theory of global warming is a huge conspiracy.
Correct. It is a huge conspiracy. They're calling it ClimateGate. And the fact is that all of the fakers in the business should be immediately arrested, put on trial, and when found guilty of fraud, they should be not only imprisoned for whatever is appropriate, but all of the research funds should be paid back. Any of their property should be sold off in order to pay for it. And that includes Al Gore. Al Gore has made a fortune off this lie. Now, the reason I'm spending so much time on this is because Obama is about to put the final nail in the coffin of this country's great enterprise. If he is allowed to go to Copenhagen next month and sign off on the global warming nonsense, the cap-and-trade bills and the EU garbage, we're finished as a nation. It will cripple us forever. Now, as you well know, Obama himself has been either duped or he's absolutely not as smart as he pretends to be. But the fact of the matter is the man has got to be told in no uncertain terms, do not sign the cap-and-trade, do not go to Copenhagen on behalf of the American people, or we'll throw every Democrat out of office. I don't think it will matter to them.
Savage.